Chef's Corner. I'm Chef Tony Johnson, and I'm going to show you how to do steak au poivre with some mashed potatoes and some green beans almondine. We have some mashed potatoes that we've already pre-done, some olive oil, heavy cream, demi, brandy, almonds, parsley, Dijon mustard, whole garlic peeled, some brunoise shallots, some salt, some pepper, some green beans, lemon, and of course, the main attraction, the New York strip. Our first process, we're going to make our steaks. Nice thin steaks, almost like a minute size steak. It helps with quick cooking. I'm going to first put my rubber glove on for sanitation. Always very important. Clean the excess fat off the strip loin, and we're going to place it on our cutting board. Always like to do the head side first, so you can get a nice clean cut. And right here, just straight down. Nice thin steak, so it'll cook nice and quickly through the whole process. Start laying them out. The next step is a crucial part, that's seasoning. We take our steaks, lay them here on our cutting board. I take one glove off. I leave one glove on to rub that seasoning in. A nice healthy dose of salt, add it on there. And then I like to take my pepper grinder to the whitest level and make nice, big, thick grains of pepper. The biggest thing about au poivre is that peppery flavor. And we'll get it from this pepper and from the Dijon. Pat that in there and repeat on the other side. After we rub the seasoning in, we're going to come to our pan here that's already heating up on a medium-high heat. Once it gets the temperature, add your olive oil in. Give it a good roll in the pan. We don't want too much fat in there because we're not deep frying it. Always add the meat in away from you, that way nothing pops up and hits you. The most important part is not to touch the meat, to let it stay on the same side and caramelize for about 3 minutes. These are thinly cut steaks, so they're not going to take long, probably about 3 minutes on each side. So just let it get that golden crisp deliciousness on the side before you flip it. And then we're going to come over here, after I've cleaned and sanitized my cutting board, a very important step. We're going to work on the sauce. It's a pan sauce, so we're going to build all of our ingredients. We're going to use the whole peel garlic, the shallots, the Dijon mustard, the parsley, demi-glace, heavy cream, and the brandy. And of course, salt and pepper. First step will be our whole peel garlic, 2 cloves. What I like to do is smash the garlic, bring out those oils, just like that. And for a finer chop, you can always sprinkle a little bit of salt, and use the salt as an abrasive. This will make the garlic nice and fine. This is our garlic paste for our sauce. It's been about 3 minutes now, and we're going to flip them. Just gently take them, and you can see the nice caramelization on the meat. That's all flavor. Alright, it's been about 3 minutes again, and we're going to take our steaks out, and we're going to rest them on a nice plate here. Resting will allow all these juices to come back together into the middle. We'll set them here to the side. And what we're going to do is make a pan sauce. A lot of people here would think this is a dirty dish. This is what we call fond in the kitchen. It's a building block for this sauce. We're going to make a nice pan sauce with it. It looks like we still have plenty of fat in here. So I'm going to add in our garlic and our brunoise shallots. Brunoise is just a fancy word for a small dice technically a 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch. Just gonna sweat these down a little bit. Using the back of my tongs, I don't want to scrape the pan. Our garlic and our shallots have sweated just about where I want them to be. And now what I'm going to do is help with the dishes. This is always the fun part and the showstopper. We're going to have a little bit of flambe with the brandy. And as you can see, this helps deglaze the pan. And all of that beautiful fond is now getting worked into our sauce. Now I'll add in a little bit of Dijon mustard. Just about a teaspoon. And then that rich demi-glace. I'll add all that in. Give this a nice quick stir. Again, using the back of my tongs, not to scratch the pan, and just working everything back into the sauce until it's nice incorporated. And then a touch of heavy cream. Again, maybe 1/8 of a cup. Just kind of give it a little bit more richness to the dish. And to finish off the sauce, a little bit of butter. The butter again will bring a little bit of richness and a nice little glaze to it. Just about 2 little tabs of it. And then slowly whisk that butter in. And our sauce will be complete after we season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. Now there's a lot of pepper on the steak and we season it very well, so we don't have to go extreme with it. Stir in your salt and pepper. And this will complete our pan sauce. And we're gonna set this to the side as we work on our green bean almondine. We're gonna put our pan on medium high heat as we fix all of our other ingredients. And now we're working on the green bean almondine. Our first step, we have our pan on a medium high heat. We're going to add in a nice healthy portion of butter. And just let that come to a nice golden brown so we get that nice nutty flavor from the butter. As our butter is becoming nice and golden brown, we're going to take the lemon. First step to the lemon, we're going to bruise it. Just put a little bit of weight on it, roll back and forth. It's really going to bring out the juices in the lemon. Once it's nice and soft, then we're going to slice it in half. What we have here, our lemon in half. Our green beans have been slightly blanched. That means it's been cooked almost halfway through and then cooled off in some cold ice water. We're going to bring these ingredients with our almonds that have been toasted to bring again those oils out in the almonds and give it a nice good crunch. Over here to our pan. As you can tell, our butter is nice and brown. You can smell that nutty flavor coming off from the butter and all the fats that are in that butter. We're going to add our green beans to it. Again, we always want to add away from us to prevent anything from splashing up. There's moisture on the green beans, so moisture with fat always has a little bit of popping. Once our green beans are heated through, we want to take the heat off of the green beans. That way when we squeeze the lemon, it will prevent a little bit of the popping. Always like this little tool with the tongs. Take your tongs, put the lemon in between and squeeze. Put your hand underneath to catch any of the seeds. But using the tongs like this really gets all the juices out of these lemons. Once we add the lemon, give it another quick stir, incorporate that lemon and that butter. And of course, at the final, we always season with our salt and fresh cracked black pepper. And then for garnish, those nice toasted almonds will bring a nice crunch to these green beans. Again, stir them all together. Now that our green beans almondine are finished, we're going to do plating. We take some of our mashed potatoes that we've done. This is a basic mashed potato recipe: butter, salt, pepper, and you can always spice it up. Add a little bit of cheese, add a little bit of horseradish. It's all to your liking. What I like to do is just take a basic spoon, place some in the middle of the pan, and just make a divot, almost a cradle, for my green bean almondine. Now we're going to add our green bean almondine. Again, we're going to put it right here and rest it right on top of our mashed potatoes. Get some nice height. Very important to always think about color, height, and the way you arrange everything when you plate it. Of course, you want to top these green beans with some of these almonds and a little bit of this beautiful butter right here. And then, of course, we're going to get our nice star attraction, the New York strip. Take this nice, beautiful piece right here. Now, I can easily sit there and plate it up just like this. But what I like to do is kind of slice the meat on a bias. Again, slice it on the bias. That way we can fan the meat out and showcase that beautiful cooked strip right here in the front of the plate. We'll wipe our plate. And now for the sauce. And now the sauce, we're going to give it a quick stir. I always like to add my fresh herbs last minute. That way it has that beautiful aroma from this nice fresh chopped parsley. Stir that in. And just ladle it over the meat and let it just cover it nicely. And that's our dish today on Chef's Corner. Steak au poivre with the New York strip, our pan sauce, green bean almondines, and our nice mashed potatoes. Please join us again for Chef's Corner. Again, I'm Chef Tony Johnson, and have a great night.